everyone! Welcome to the channel dedicated to sharing the profound insights and wisdom of Andromedan contactee Alex Collier. If you're new here, you're in for a journey that expands your mind and consciousness, bringing you closer to understanding the messages from the fifth density Andromedan extraterrestrials. For those returning, we're grateful for your continued support. Before we dive into today's enlightening content, we have a small favor to ask. If you find value in the knowledge shared in this video, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to our channel, and clicking the bell icon so you never miss an update. Your engagement helps us amplify Alex Collier's message, allowing us to reach a larger audience with these vital messages. We'd also love to hear from you, so please engage with the comments below. Whether it's a question, your thoughts, or even just an emoji for the sake of engagement, every comment counts. We read every single comment, and your feedback is incredibly valuable to us. Additionally, if you'd like to support us further, consider giving a super thanks tip by clicking the heart with the $sign. This small gesture allows us to continue bringing you more of Alex's messages, unfiltered and directly from his lifelong experiences with the Andromedans. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video.
Personally, I love to reverse engineer almost anything. Can you speak about doing this on a daily basis for people who seem stuck in the control patterns of fear and division to help transform that programming? Thank you.
Well, there are two stories I want to share with you. The first one is of a small village that had a building in it, and the building contained 1,000 mirrors. And a little girl would go in there, and she would play by herself because she didn't have any friends. But while she was in this room with 1,000 mirrors, whenever she would play, she imagined that she had 1,000 friends around her, and that when she would clap her hands, they would clap with her. As she would cry, they would cry with her. As she would shout for joy, they would shout for joy with her. And to this little girl, that was the happiest place in the world, because it was always positive to her, because that was her perspective. That everybody there, everyone in those mirrors were right along with her, cheering her on, sharing her joy, sharing her laughter, even though it was just her. Another man went in there. He was angry, hated his life. And every time he would raise his fist to punch out a mirror, those 1,000 mirrors, there would be an image there of somebody raising their fist ready to punch him. And he hated the place because it would only reflect back to him his own anger. What he failed to realize is that the mirror was just imaging back himself, just like life does. It mirrors back to us what we're thinking. And if you're not happy, you only have to ask yourself why. No one else is responsible for anyone else's happiness. And it isn't anyone else's responsibility. It's simply impossible. It's your own responsibility. And the last story that I want to share with you, it's not necessarily a story, but it's this. If I were to sit here and say, I'm going to give each of you $1 million, okay? There's a caveat, but I'm going to give each of you $1 million. How would you feel? Some would say reserved. Some would say relieved. Some happy. Some joyful. Some, I feel absolutely great, excited, etc. Well, what's the caveat? Well, the caveat is if I give you the $1 million, you won't wake up in the morning. You will cross over. So would you still want the $1 million? Almost everyone says no. No, I would rather have my life. Well, okay then. So when you're not happy with your life, but yet you value money, you've just made the decision that your life, your tomorrow, waking up tomorrow is worth $1 million to you. That's the value you just put on your day. Do you wake up every morning realizing that that's the value of your day, $1 million or $10 million? Do you appreciate that time, knowing that that's the value you have on it? And what do you do with that time, knowing that it's valued at $1 million+ dollars? What do you want? It always comes down to that. What do you want?
Sweet Alex and crew, thanks for all you do. What's the current relationship between the A's, the Pleiadians, and the Anunnaki?
I'm not aware that the A's have a formal, ongoing relationship with the Anunnaki. You need to understand that the Anunnaki themselves both carry a positive and a negative family trait or bloodlines. And the A's, the relationship with the Pleiadians, they do mentor many of the Pleiadian civilization. I don't know that it's all, but they do mentor some of the ones in fourth, maybe even third, but certainly fourth. And I know that they're used as consultants with Pleiadian 5D as well. But I don't know if it's every single one. And I know that Theseus was interacting an ambassador to many other star nations, in the galaxy, in third and fourth, and that he had been training more. And I know that since Theseus left their physicality in our year 1998, that there were times I couldn't get hold of Mornay, and that he was doing that type of work in other star systems or solar systems in our galaxy. So I don't have the full breadth of his schedule and what it is that they're doing. When I ask, sometimes I get an answer, but most of it is, you need to stay focused on where you are now. So it always comes back to that. Stay focused to the present, stay focused to where you are now. And of course we go there because we're extremely curious. That's our nature. And that is in fact a strength, being curious about that stuff. But we still have way too much work to do here to even start thinking or worrying about that, even though we all do. That's another good question. Thank you very much for that.
Please explain about last Schumann Resonance and their latest data glitches. Thank you.
Please, about lost human resonance?
No, about the last Schumann Resonance and their latest data. They're talking about the blackouts, I think, what she's trying to refer to.
Okay, well, it's highly unlikely that those blackouts are caused by the equipment malfunctioning, since they seem to work recording all this other bizarre stuff. I think what it is that they turn it off specifically because they don't want to explain really significant changes that we would be looking at. I think the change that we saw out of the Russian and Italian system, which at first I think was blamed on an equipment failure, but what's really interesting about that is that particular frequency that was recorded and the way it was recorded with the scales looked like musical scales. What's really interesting is that if you look at when that manifested in the Schumann resonance, the North Pole, the magnetic North Pole, began to move and crossed over the 40-degree mark. Now at 50, we have a magnetic pole shift. The magnetic pole, the north magnetic pole moved to 40 degrees. That's when that Schumann signature began to appear at that moment. Now, what does that exactly mean? I'm not exactly sure. But clearly the frequency began to shift when that happened. Even if there was a failure, something happened at that moment when the magnetic North Pole reached 40 degrees. It's really interesting. There's so much we don't know because it's all been hidden from us.
Have you or Elena had any ET discussions with Dr. Greer?
No. I can speak for myself. I cannot speak for Elena. I don't know that she's talked to Greer or not, or of any of his people. No, I know I haven't. I have spoken to Greer during the first disclosure project many times on the phone, but it had to do with the manufacturing of the disclosure project on multimedia platforms. And he had no idea who I was, and I wasn't going to tell him. I didn't feel that it was important. So he was doing his thing, and I was strongly encouraging that. It's a shame it didn't get much further. It didn't get the legs or the publicity that it deserved. And I would hope that he would re-release all that information, because much of it is absolutely relevant to where we are today. And those whistleblowers there were dozens of them, and they were each one better than the next. So not to take anything away from those who are here now. One of them is going to be at the CLEC or CSEC conference in Orlando this year. One of those original whistleblowers from the very first disclosure project. So you might want to, folks might want to think about that, if you have an interest in it. Ladies and gentlemen, look, there are pyramids all over the planet, in the ocean, etc. To think that the Hebrews built these things, built all these for the Egyptians is just ludicrous. And they're put in very incredibly strategic places on the planet. The only way you would know where to put these things specifically is if you had space travel. And let's not forget that the Sumerians recorded our entire solar system coming from the outside in. They have a record of it going back 8,000 years of our solar system describing the planets, including the color from the outside in. So, and most of these planets, and the outer planets weren't discovered until the 70s. So how would the Sumerians know? It wasn't magic cards. So, yeah, they're here. Now we need to focus on, okay, what is their intention? Who are they? How are we connected to them? And then what are we going to do with this knowledge? And I'll tell you what we are going to do. It's going to change how we see ourselves. And that is a good thing, because we've had the shit kicked out of us down here, and I think we're all pretty sick of it. It would really be nice to know what our place is in the galaxy, in our solar system, and what this whole thing has been all about. Because we all want to do the right thing. At least 99% of us want to do the right thing.
Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you found it insightful, please like the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon so you don't miss out on future updates. If you have any questions relating to today's video, please also leave them below. We read all the comments and take on board what our viewers have to say about Alex Collier's work. Remember, your support helps Alex Collier's knowledge and the messages from the Andromedans reach more people. If you'd like to support the channel even more, you can give us a super thanks tip by clicking the heart icon with a $sign. It really helps our team bring you more content. Also, be sure to visit alexcollier.org to sign up for our regular email newsletter. It's the best way to stay updated with the latest news, exclusive content, and upcoming live webinars. For the latest insights from Alex Collier, check out alexcollier.live. And if you want to explore over 250 past webinars, head over to alexcollier.tv. Thank you for being a part of this journey and supporting Alex Collier's work. We couldn't do this without you, and we're genuinely grateful for your support. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the vast mysteries of our universe. If you would like to see the Andromedan contactee Alex Collier live via video stream, we hold a live online seminar every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information on upcoming live webinars, please visit alexcollier.org.